Festival of the Four Winds is here, and it has tons of things for you to do, rewarding you with primarily cosmetic items. I've been making a lot of videos recently about making money, so with a festival designed around cosmetics and fun for everyone, I thought it would be a great time to just talk about straight up fun investment versus rewards. So I busted out the tier maker, the Boss Blitz. This event has everything. Ideally, you coordinate with 6 groups to defeat 6 bosses all around the same time. As each boss you defeat, their powers get transferred to the other bosses. So you want to not have to deal with that. If you defeat every boss in under 8 minutes, you get the maximum rewards. So speed and coordination is encouraged. Shout out to any of our public commanders, by the way, who may be watching. You are carrying the entire Guild Wars 2 civilization on your back. I have a commander tag and could totally do it, but then I wouldn't really be able to mash buttons and watch my shows, so hey. You get a good experience for every boss you defeat, as well as the overall meta, and if you get gold, you get 80 festival tokens, and if you hop into a multi-map squad farming this event, you can crank these out like nobody's business. This is probably my favorite festival event out of any of them, giving this a solid S tier ranking. But what comes up must come down, because while that's my favorite event, the next one is the worst event in the festival. Up next, we have a fishing tournament. I hate it. No, I will not elaborate. Okay, fine. Look, it's only accessible by people with the End of Dragons expansion, so it's slightly exclusionary. I assume it's a coding thing because the skiff is a mastery and the fishing rod is a mastery, and you pretty much need both to do this. But I think festivals would be a super easy and good way for them to convince people that these activities can be fun, so it would be ideal if this would be one way for them to test the feature before actually buying the expansion. That's strike number 1. Then we just have the fact that I just don't enjoy these tournaments. It's like driving around in a clunky skiff from point to point every 30 seconds or so, dealing with anchoring your skiff and momentum and everything, all for no actual festive reward. I'm guessing they didn't give it a token reward because it would be unfair to people without the expansion. I don't know, but I honestly don't like any of these fishing tournaments. It's repetitive, it's clunky, and it's not very rewarding to me. D tier. Now, there is an event that occurs directly after Boss Blitz, and while it's nowhere near as good as the Boss Blitz in my opinion, it's still amazing for tokens. It's the Raptor Race. You dash through the hordes of enemies as you race against time and try not to die. I like these raptor races, and they're a pretty bread and butter thing for me, and the enemies give it some spice. With full masteries, it's not overly difficult if you time evade jumps through large packs or elevated sections, and emergency stealth to heal. I give this a solid A tier due to pacing and enjoyment, as well as the fact that you get 40 festival tokens each time you finish this race, and once you're good at this route, you could easily do 3 to 4 of these within a single event timer, racking up a bunch of tokens very quickly. And then if you're staying on that one map, that progresses to Boss Blitz, and then you're going to be able to run Boss Blitz, do even more, and just loop this into a crazy, fun, and valuable event loop. Now, I like a lot of races, but they're certainly not all created equal, and this next one can't hold a candle to raptor racing. Alright, so up next is Sanctum Sprint, and this is a much longer version of the Dolyak race with the added negative aspect that you are not in fact a tiny, adorable Dolyak. Terrible. You're going to take the crystal powers you get and take yourself across a very long race as quickly as possible, vying for first place. There's little power-ups and sabotage drops you can use, kind of like Mario Kart. If you get first place, you'll get some money and karma, and 36 to 46 festival tokens. If you take any other place than first, you get a little less money, karma, and you get 20 to 29 festival tokens. Overall, it's not the worst if you like this sort of thing. In order to get the credit for any achievements, though, you have to actually wait the full timer, which can mean minutes of sitting around with nothing to do in an instance zone, though, which kind of sucks. I don't love these types of things. The rewards are only okay, and it overstays its welcome to me, so this is going to have to be another D tier from me. There's also Griffin Expert and Master adventures in the Labyrinthine Cliffs. As always, Griffin Master is a little bit tricky, but it does come with its own title, Barnstormer, which is pretty awesome. I always used to wish you could rent a Griffin for this, and I still do, but since all the skills are tied to masteries, I guess it would be pretty pointless unless they tweaked that just for this festival piece. I love these Griffin challenges, so I'm going to put this at a solid A tier for me. The Choya Pinata, the treasure hunt. This is, love it or hate it, a reskinned Choya Pinata, though still carrying the same 0% chance to become a virtual rich person. You run around, collect the treasure bags for a few rounds, and then when you hit all 3 tiers successfully, you get to throw water balloons at a giant champion flame effigy. So for me, the treasure hunting part I'm a little worn out on after so many Choya Pinatas, but the actual flame effigy part I appreciate. The water balloons add a different element to it, gives it that late summer vibe, and it makes it last a bit longer and would probably feel better to a new player versus watching the Choya Pinata die in 2 seconds. It's also got unique rewards from the treasure hunting part, though what does hurt it is how long it takes. Like most treasure hunting, it sort of outstays its welcome for me. It's very easy tokens though, getting you 150 to 174 tokens for completing all 3 rounds, plus the effigy, and once a day you get a bonus 50 tokens. All things considered, with the unique twists to it, it's a solid B tier event for me. So we have the flame effigy and treasure hunt for a massive collective effort, but what if you want to bash your fellow festival goers instead? Aspect Arena would be for you. Not me though. So for Aspect Arena, you go into an instanced arena and fight with special powers against other players based on elements of crystals that you can touch. Wind, sun, and lightning. 2 teams fight over spawning attunement crystals in a sort of neutral ground capture the flag. It's a fine game mode, but I very quickly tire of these gimmicky things. One of my issues in games, MMOs specifically, is that I take a while to actually learn my buttons. So you can see how I really struggle to just jump into any of these game types like this and be effective, so I'd rather spend my time doing other things. Also, I would rather have a true CTF game mode in SPVP than this, so Janet, please, if you're listening, let's make it happen. Throw in that the reward is only 21 festival tokens to win and 11 festival tokens to lose according to the wiki. No, I haven't played it yet this year and I don't intend to. And this gets a solid D tier from me. Aspect Arena is one of my least favorite activities, but up next we have a few races followed by probably one of the best solo PvE activities in all of Guild Wars 2. Skimmer Slalom isn't anything special here. It's a skimmer-based race, glide yourself through the checkpoints and finish it for a pretty decent reward of 40 festival tokens. It's solid for how long it takes, and that skimmer races are, in my opinion, the easiest race of them all. I enjoy skimmer races the most out of all the mount races, so with that being said, I will give this a solid B tier for me. The Dolyak race is up next. Have you found yourself wishing that you could use the special Zephyrite race powers, but as a Dolyak? Boy, do I have great news for you then. This is exactly that. Run around as a tiny Dolyak, use the magical crystal goodness to jump and zoom around, try not to get absolutely obliterated by the waterfall like I seem to do every single time, and you're having a blast. I don't really like it that much. It takes my general blasé attitude towards most races, turns it up with my slight dislike for the Zephyrite special abilities, and then combines them. It's enough to land it in a solid C tier for me. But we're going back to the water for the skiff race. This one is going to surprise you guys. So unlike the fishing we just talked about, this one you can rent a skiff for 10 silver even if you don't have End of Dragons. So you're able to participate no matter what. That's a good step so far. Now while I find the skiff very clunky for fishing because of the constant starting and stopping, I actually quite enjoy the challenge of racing these things because of the momentum challenges you have to deal with, adjusting your speed early or late. I think it's something we see a bit with the roller beetle, and it's a very fun challenge to tackle. And it gives me an excuse to use the thing since I haven't done much fishing, and I rarely do anymore. However, it does go on far too long in my opinion, requiring 3 full laps of this race, and that really drags it down here for me. All in all, I would say this is a solid C tier event. Now, as promised, last but certainly not least, we have the Queen's Gauntlet. This is a really fun and cool solo boss fighting experience that gets more difficult the higher up in the chain you go. I really love this because it's the only piece of Guild Wars 2 content that I can think of that truly pushes the envelope in a solo gameplay skill set in a way that encourages you to improve, and it could relate directly to group content by being similar to raid mechanics, requiring good damage output and battlefield awareness. This is a really fun thing to do. It can actually be productive for a lot of people to do, not just in the reward and achievement sense, but in the skills they develop along the way. This is easily an S tier activity for me. The final activity today is also an S tier, and that's this challenge where I played only Engineer, a class that I barely ever touch, for 30 days. It's a fun time to play and watch. You should click here and check it out for a good time.